Dem Guys. Yeah.
It sounds like you need something to finish that off. Like that was just the beginning of the song.
Well, continue then. You continue it.
Well, it's a really long song, and these people have Christmas presents to open.
Yes.
It's true.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Christmas edition of the Dem Guys podcast, where we talk about basically whatever we feel like. But today we're going to be talking about Christmas because
Christmas
for you guys
Christmas is here.
listening to this, well, I guess it could be after Christmas, whatever. It's Christmas when this episode is coming out. So
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
Merry
Thanks for listening.
Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
Apparently, Drew doesn't have anything to talk about today.
We are simply here to tell you that it is Christmas today.
We didn't
Yes.
do the smart thing, and we did not actually write out a list this time of what we were going to talk about, so I wasn't sure what to start with. Let's go ahead and start off with what games we've been playing this week, since that's what we kind of said we were going to do last time. My list is
That's kind of annoying.
My list is much shorter this week. It is not my main topic of discussion.
It's a day job.
Yeah, I've been working so much, and I have had almost no time for video games at all. And I've had no time.
Come on, man.
I've had no time for recording, definitely. So
Well, at least you made time for the podcast.
yes,
Indeed.
So
what have you been playing lately?
I played a couple hours of Final Fantasy 13, and I am very much enjoying that.
Very cool. Very cool. How far into
we talked
that?
about that last week, huh?
Yeah. How far into that have you gotten now?
I don't know what it is hours wise. For anyone who's played the game, we encountered
Spoilers.
Yeah. Right.
we encountered the falsy thing.
Oh, okay.
And we then fell, and we're now in the kind of crystal area.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
cool.
like Donkey Kong.
Like Crystal Cavern.
Donkey Kong 64, Crystal Caverns? Yeah,
I
you know
was-
what I'm talking about,
I'm with
Slash.
you.
Great game.
I was very surprised when they suddenly threw a whole bunch of new things at me, like, hey, you can level up your abilities, and hey, you have all sorts of new things, and hey, here are paradigm shifts, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, the thing about Final Fantasy 13 is that the paradigm shifts is really the entire combat mechanic.
Yeah. I see
Figuring out, setting that up, and figuring out which ones you want to have, and switching between them at the proper times is really how you play the game from that point forward.
Yeah, I had to switch combat to slow for a boss fight just because I was so unused to paradigm shifts that I kept dying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I totally understand what you're talking about. I had the same issue with it, and it's the one thing that I think takes the combat and makes it enjoyable, because I think if they didn't have that, it would be very like Final Fantasy 12, where it was just press X and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all 12 was press X to win, essentially.
I like those games. Very simple.
It's a
And then-
Street
concept
Fighter,
Snow
like-
can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then
My favorite.
I also
Have you been playing the JRPG you were talking about?
Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13 is.
Well, besides that
there was a
one.
The
different
Lost
one we
Odyssey.
talked about. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I have not played any more of that since we talked.
You still have 80 hours to go then.
Yeah, I'm really into Final Fantasy 13. It's much more
All right,
fast
fair
paced.
enough.
And then what was the other?
So what
you
else?
said there was another game.
Yeah, I played a couple hours of Modern Warfare 3 with my brother-in-law, and I haven't played Call of Duty in forever, and it's really fun playing first-person shooters. And just
Yeah, my bloodlust is kind of increasing around the Christmas holidays, so I might be getting into some first-person shooters also.
This
I don't
is
know.
a typical reaction to this time of year for you, Snow.
Oh, you guys don't even know how many holidays I have. I have anniversary on the 5th, then I have my sister's birthday on the 17th, and then another birthday on the 23rd, and then the 25th.
Oh, so
And
December is
Oh,
so
man.
busy that by the time Christmas comes
Yes.
around, you're ready to kill everybody. is the message.
And
that I'm
how?
getting.
Yes.
I
yes.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I have a birthday tomorrow that I've already bought presents for, so I haven't even started looking for Christmas presents.
Oh,
Oh wow.
But yeah, so hopefully, if my family's listening, hopefully I got you something. Merry Christmas. Yeah, but luckily that means I have 11 months of nothing.
That's true.
great.
That's true. You get it all done right at the end of the year, and then start the next year with
Yes.
nothing to do.
It's like I'm a sprinter. Your race is done, and you just have all day to lay around.
It's like you're a sprinter who has entered a 12-lap race and starts sprinting like as people start the 12th lap. You just wait at the
Exactly.
finish line for 11 laps.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody's so dead. Yeah. Everybody's done after 12 laps, and I'm like, man, I gotta go! And then I just kill myself at the end of it.
Yeah.
Great comparison.
Yeah. Were there any other games, or those are the two that you?
So that's
Pretty much
I
it.
had just a few hours in the past 2 weeks total that I played games. I haven't even gotten to touch Minecraft.
It's cool.
You.
Yeah. I was in on the VBFS for a little bit. Recently, I played my final hour or 2 hours, I guess I think it was, of Kerbal Space Program of
It's-
the 0.22 version.
So what does that mean? You played your final hour or 2 hours?
Well, I decided, because it's still a beta version. They haven't hit version 1.0 or whatever. They do
Right.
make changes on a relatively frequent basis that you could probably continue a previous save file or whatever, but you would not necessarily. It's kind of like if you've watched any of Zisto's Starbound Let's Play, where he talks about at one point the game they rebalanced the weapons, but he didn't wipe the characters, so he's able to continue, but the one weapon that he created in the previous version was way overpowered all of a sudden. It's the same sort of thing, I think, in Kerbal Space Program. There are certain things that it's like, well, now I have this, but I shouldn't have this, or maybe, the way that you attain science in 0.23 is different than 0.22. So I decided I would finish up my quote-unquote story in 0.22 and then wipe and start again, and probably do some off-camera stuff to catch up in terms of technology level, so I'm not constantly landing on the moon every version of the game that comes out kind of thing.
right.
So I finished that.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yeah, it was I'm really looking forward to it. It's not going to release for a while because I actually have, I think, another part 2 of the Minmus mission that I did. I don't think is up yet. Part 1 I think just went out on my channel yesterday, maybe. I think, as of the time that we're recording this, I think on Saturday.
Just doing calculations.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that, I've got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
We haven't talked about it much since the last podcast because it was 2 weeks ago. But have you been flagged for content ID on your Kerbal Space Program stuff?
I have been flagged a
Yes.
lot. Now I
don't want to get too deep into it. We can just touch on it briefly. 'cause
Yeah,
it's been
I got
ding
flagged.
dong,
I
ding
think
dong
on
today.
on like 13, 14, and 15. I think those episodes got.
And it's because there's a Kevin MacLeod song included in Kerbal Space Program, right?
That is correct.
And some lady decided that she was going to make her own song and sell it, where she was playing wind chimes over this Kevin MacLeod song. And so she sold it, but she also submitted it to copyright for YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Well, apparently,
And-
like the company that's redistributing that music is called CD Baby, and
Right,
so
yeah, I
that
saw
track got entered into their content management system interface
Which
to
is
YouTube.
fine, because it's completely legal.
But now
you've got to understand that
Yeah.
it's...
it's so
I don't know,
ridiculously
that's-
similar to Kevin MacLeod's track that now
Right.
Kerbal Space Program videos are matching because of the background music. And the unfortunate thing is, as YouTube has been rolling out these new content ID changes, it's causing all these extra matches to happen that weren't there before. Their only real response is, many games allow you to turn off the background music.
Yeah, that is such crap, man.
I've-
Don't even get me started.
I've
I'm not going
liked-
to go into this on the podcast,
Yeah.
or else my microphone's going to burst into flames. But it's completely ridiculous how games are made from the music and the visuals. I mean, what would Minecraft be without the music? It would be fun,
Yeah.
but the music adds so much to it.
Yeah, well, and especially like Starbound has an amazing soundtrack,
Mhm.
and if
Yeah.
I were to play that game with the music off, I think it would miss a lot. You would not.
It doesn't seem as grindy whenever you've got the relaxing music behind it. Same with Minecraft.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that.
Now I'm hopeful that that those content ID matches have stopped, because the 2 episodes that I've uploaded, the first of which has gone live and the second which won't go live I think until Friday. I don't think I've even scheduled that, but that's probably when it's going up. Neither of them got flagged, and I know Kurt had said, because he's one of the more prominent KSP Let's Players on YouTube, and he had gotten hit by one of these. He actually contacted CD Baby directly and asked them to remove that track from the YouTube CMS so that Content ID would no longer flag it. And it's entirely possible that they responded to that and did that precisely. So fingers crossed that the KSP videos don't get flagged in the future.
Christmas present to Matt, aka Slash.
Yeah, exactly.
From YouTube.
From Kurt J. Mack.
From Kurt J. Mack, indirectly,
yeah. Yep.
So
any other games you've been playing?
I've done a little bit of Starbound off camera. I need to record more of that, but haven't gotten around to sitting down to actually record any of it yet. But I did a little bit of Starbound, and other than that, it's been basically Candy Crush on the phone.
Candy Crush, yes.
Yeah.
What a terrible game for Americans and Europeans and people of the world alike.
Yeah. But
oh man.
But yeah, that's been it. I'm looking forward to having a bit more time, hopefully, to sit down and do some gaming over the holiday, because I'm off of my day job. I don't start working again until January 6th. So
yay for laziness.
Exactly. So I'm hoping to be able to sit down and play more games during that time frame. Most of which will be stuff that goes up on my channel one way or the other anyway.
Yeah.
What about you, Snow? What do you got?
Oh, man. Well, I just want to open up by saying thank you to Humble Bundle and Steam for completely burning a hole in my butt pocket and making me buy a total of, I think about 12 games. It was actually pretty cheap, but because, the Steam sale and the Humble Bundle, Steam Winter Sale and the Humble Bundle, I can't do this, guys.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Humble Bundle Winter Sale, Holiday Sale. I don't know which one's which. They scrambled my brain, but they both went up at the same time virtually. I think they're both still going. I know the Steam one is, and I think the Humble Bundle one is also. But a lot of games I've really been wanting to play are down to like $3 to $5, and I just can't handle it. So I haven't played any of them yet. I've been waiting to where I can sit down and actually play them all. Right now I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row recorded so that I can have content for the holidays, but I got Faster Than Light, I got Gone Home, which I'm really excited about. Gone Home is up for Game of the Year with a lot of people. It was only like $3, but I guess it's really emotional and moving and kind of a adventure, maybe puzzle type thing, but most of the things I got were puzzle games. I got Limbo and Monaco. I haven't ever heard of Monaco before, but it's something about the heist or whatever, and it's kind of a little, I don't know, simplistic art, top-down style game.
I hear Monaco,
I'm excited for
a
that.
racing game.
No, not that kind of Monaco. I looked at getting Airport Simulator 2014. I think that would be amazing.
Sounds interesting.
But, yeah, it's like $20, and I don't know if I want to pay $20 for something that might be terrible. Holy cow, man! All right, I'm buying a game right now. Anti-Chamber is $5 right now. Am purchasing. I have 15 hours. I'll do it after the podcast.
We're listening to the sound of Snow lose more money.
Man. Yeah, so that's all the games that I bought and haven't played, but because this section is usually for games that we have already purchased and are playing, I will proceed with my topic. So I've been playing a little bit of Starbound. Nothing too much. I don't want to LP it yet because I am waiting for the actual release. I have no idea when it's going to happen, but I want to get into it whenever it's done, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I want to get a little bit more knowledgeable about it before I LP it. I don't just want to go into it blind and then have everybody who already knows more than me about the game just
commenting
with
like, you moron. You're supposed to do this. Yeah, because
with Starbound, there's not the creativity that there is in Minecraft. With Minecraft, you can build something and someone can't be like, man, you built that wrong.
Well, they can.
It came from... Yeah, but they would be stupid. Because it's my imagination that's building it. But In Starbound, it's like you can build stuff, but it's really not. I don't know. I like finding stuff more in Starbound. So using different weapons and finding different weapons and exploring planets and stuff. And there's a lot of procedural stuff that goes into that I'm excited to learn more about and get some more hours with that game.
Right.
But the main thing that I've been playing is Minecraft.
Woo!
Any particular thing in Minecraft?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Drusen of the 43. Oh, Daughter and I, many of you know Daughter, she's on the Vintage Bee fan server with me. We decided to prank Caleb West, who is one of our admins and good friends on the VBFS. And he has his school building that is this awesome big floating block that looks like it's defying gravity and flying at the same time, I guess is what that means.
And
oh. It's like a famous architectural building, and it just looks like a big white block with black checker patterns and everything on it. So she came up with the idea and pitched it to me, and of course I was all in. And when we started, I decided, hey, this is only going to take an hour. This is going to be great. You know, we're just going to go build this block, and I didn't really know how big it was, but I knew how big Clay's base was, but I really didn't know the magnitude of the project. So we started somewhere around 6:30 in the evening, which is really like 12:30 a.m. for her, because she is in Iceland. And 6 hours later, it was
You're like a third of the way done.
Yeah, well, actually, I finished up all I did on it at 1 a.m. And turns out we placed over 13,000 blocks for this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, she did the calculations for me. So it's basically just a giant block, but we made it all exactly 13,000 blocks placed precisely how they should be, according to the picture. So I've got a video that's already up at this point. It came out on the 23rd, I believe. Yeah, 23rd. So you can check that out if you want. But yeah, that's really what I've been doing. A lot of placing blocks. Well, and Slash actually paid us a visit too while we were there.
I did, yeah. Daughter had purchased a significant amount of white wool from my sheep shearing area.
Yeah, it's kind of like when somebody goes into the store and buys a lot of fertilizer, and you're like, wonder what's going on with that.
And it was funny because she was on at one point. It was just her and me, and she's like, you know anybody with a good sheep farm? And I'm like, as a matter of fact, I have an automatic sheep farm.
I believe you said it in your video as I have the best.
I do. I have the best sheep farm. So then she came over and she bought a bunch of wool. And at one point I had said to her, your wool order is almost ready. And Caleb was on at the time, and she whispers to me, shush. And tells me on Skype that Caleb must not know about the wool. So I knew that
we kept it completely under wraps.
So I knew that was the target. So whenever I saw the two of you on together, the one night, I was like, I bet you I know where they are. But
and he found us, and we had plenty of issues. It wasn't just the fact that it took 6 hours for us to do it. I think a total of 10, because Daughter had to work extra while I was at work the next day. I went to work the next day. Don't worry about it. I did great that day at work. But also, we had our share of issues during the prank. First prank I've ever done on the server, and probably the biggest I'm ever going to do. I hope the biggest I'm ever going to do.
Or at least the first time you'll have more help next time if you're going to do a bigger one.
Right. Yeah, well, that's one of the issues that we had, was that I could have had more help, except Daughter had this crazy connection issue that is going to show up in the video, and Slash probably has a video of it coming out eventually. But holy cow, man, she had perfect upload, but extremely slow download. So what was happening was she was affecting the world around her, and we could see her moving as the game saw her moving, but the server wasn't representing that same concept back to her. So she was literally 6 minutes behind the server.
Oh my gosh.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. There was one point where the server was in nighttime, and she had climbed up one of the pillars that Caleb has, I guess, for getting different viewpoints on his build. And she had climbed up there, and I'm running over there to climb up as well to get an idea of how far behind she was. And on my way over, I shot a witch dead, and climbed up the pillar. And I'm talking to her, and I was like, what time of day does it look like to you? And like, it's night on the server, and she's seeing the sun still being up in her client.
Wow.
And for a while I'm thinking, oh, that's just, she's just getting bad time data or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can figure out what kind of block lag you're actually getting. I'm going to place a torch on the side of this pillar, and you tell me when it shows up. Right? So I place the torch, and I ender pearl away, and I'm doing other things. And at one point she says, okay, the server's starting to get night. And she's like, and I see you running across the field, and now you're shooting at the witch. I'm like, I did that like 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was just insane.
It was absolutely wild. So yeah, we'll have some of that in Snow's video that went up on the 23rd. Should have some of that, and yes. I don't know when. I'm probably going to just include a few highlights from that in a future VBFS episode.
Yeah, I included a few highlights because I edited 6 hours of footage down to 32 minutes, and actually less than that because I had my opening and closing stuff going on. But
right.
The craziest part, I won't spoil it, I guess, but you can go watch the video. But basically, daughter is still logged on. We're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. She's running around, and all of a sudden we hear this explosion, and she's still 6 minutes behind, and just chaos ensues from there. It's the funniest thing. I was laughing so hard when I went back and watched it all whenever I was editing.
Yeah.
But we're just like, you need to get away, and then baby zombie, oh my god. And she's just freaking out. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh man.
So that made for some hilarious experience.
Some Benny Hill moments. Yes.
Yep. So Drew, what are your Christmas time plans? What are you doing? Do you like travel a lot, or do you stay around home?
Yeah, my family, we don't do a whole lot of traveling. We are going to go visit my grandparents, which we do every year. I guess if you don't mind, I'd sort of like to talk about like our every year traditions, like
sure
things we always do. So, first of all, the first part of our Christmas, as like our whole family's Christmas, is on Thanksgiving. When we get together for Thanksgiving, we exchange like our Christmas wish lists. So then everybody...
that's a good idea.
Yeah, nobody has to worry about like, oh, what does this person like? It's just we kind of all know. And then I usually try and get my shopping done within like the next couple of weeks. I do most of my shopping online.
Man.
So
I don't do any of that. I'm so procrastinating, man. It's bad, as you can tell already.
Yeah. So I didn't do my shopping and everything. And then when I was younger, we used to, on Christmas, we would wake up early in the morning, open presents and everything. Then we'd go to my dad's parents' house and have Christmas breakfast and open more presents there. And then in the afternoon, we'd go to my mom's parents, and they live a little farther away. And so we'd have Christmas dinner there, open more presents with them, and then we'd actually sleep over there. But my dad's parents now live in like a retirement home, and so it doesn't work for all of the cousins and everything to like go have Christmas breakfast with them. So we actually past few years have gone to a restaurant on like the Saturday before Christmas, and so that's what we did this year, and it was very fun and very filling.
That's what Christmas is all about: fun and filling.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then
eat all you want, guys. That's your present to yourself. Make yourself fat. You got to survive this winter. Winter is coming. It's the harshest part. January and February are. You don't think about it in December, but January and February, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention real quick in there that all our snow melted, and it's very sad. It's like something like 60 degrees, or it was earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
We've got plenty of ice for you if you need it. Today, I'll take some pictures and I'll post them in the VBFS Skype chat so you guys can take a look. But it's insane how much ice we have. I had at my house back in the other city that I live in. It's confusing. Anyway, live in 2 different cities basically, but in the other one, there's like 5/8 of an inch of ice on the car, which you don't think of as being a lot, but it's a lot.
That's
and
a lot,
on
yeah.
my car, it was probably about half an inch, and I couldn't open the door. I'd cut my hand pretty bad, like opening it because all the ice shattered, and it was awesome. And then I had to go in and wash it while my car was warming up, and I was worried somebody was going to break into my car. Only reason I had to go out to my car in the first place was because the power went out, because the trees hit the power lines. And so I've been without power for the past like 16 hours. I was lucky to even be able to record this podcast. And yeah, I decided to stay at home for as long as I could until things started getting colder. And then I had to leave for warmth so I could live. I had to go into survival mode.
Okay, well, back to Christmas.
That was my little
traditions.
aside. I had to get into that at some point somehow.
Yeah.
You know, I hear if you go into creative mode, you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
you know
My
hunger
hunger
or
and stuff.
damage.
And you can just break the ice in one punch.
Right, yeah, it's great without hurting your knuckles. You know how many people told me today, don't open my refrigerator, and how much I hated every single time somebody told me that? It was terrible. I was like, I really want to open my refrigerator because that's where all the food is. And they were like, don't open your refrigerator. It's going to let all the cold out. And I was like, how about I just open a door because it's freaking cold outside?
Yeah, that's bad advice. You can open your fridge, you just don't keep it open constantly.
Right. Yeah, I know. And yeah, it's bad because the air in the room is getting colder while the air in the refrigerator is getting warmer. It's like, man, why can't you guys make up your mind? Have everything perfect.
We recently were doing a lot of cleaning in our house, and we have a whole bunch of boxes of stuff in our living room, which is where we would normally have the tree. So our tree is not up, which this is just a few days before Christmas when we're recording this. And sorry, no, it is up. It just got put up today. Sorry. And I found out about it when I got home from work. Apparently, we have a closed-in back porch, and so we're going to have our Christmas morning on the back porch, and that's where the tree is, which I haven't even looked at it yet.
That's going to be awesome.
It
It's gonna be
hopefully.
cold, though.
So, well, yeah, but like I was saying, it's like 60 degrees here, so it's not going to be that cold.
Oh, I missed that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, the weather on the East Coast, like Northeast, is a little ridiculous right now.
So you guys are both warm right now?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's let's see, what is?
Well, I'm in my house
Let's
with
see
my
what Google
laptop
says.
on my lap, and so I'm like sweating.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm all bundled up and whatnot because it's still really cold in my house and I had to turn the heater off so that you guys couldn't hear it. But yeah, we have lots of cold and a lot of people, I don't know what it is about today. This can be lumped in with the earlier one, but so many people have had power outages today. It's not just me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
right now outside in our area, it's 55 degrees Fahrenheit.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we're at 27 degrees Fahrenheit right now or something.
Matt, what do you usually do for Christmas, or what are you doing this year?
Let's see. We don't have a whole lot of traditions specific to Christmas itself, I guess. I mean, we on Christmas Eve we're going to be hanging out with my parents. We usually do like a snack thing at Christmas Eve where we get like bologna and crackers and cheese and like chicken
That
wings.
sounds
And,
so
that
good.
sort of
I haven't
thing.
had dinner, by the way, so that sounds so good right now.
Such baloney, much Christmas. So great.
And then this year we made the conscious decision that, and likely to persist for years to come, that Christmas Day, the only place we're going is church and back home. We're not going to try to visit with any relatives or anything. It's just going to be at the house. And then the next day we'll go out to my in-laws and spend some time out there.
Okay.
Interesting. So you're still morphing the Christmas traditions?
Little bit, yeah. It's we haven't solidified a whole lot in as far as that regard. Now, like going towards Christmas, there's a couple of things that we usually do. Like we live pretty close to Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, and so we.
Is that where they have the track meets?
What's that?
Is that where they have the track meets?
They might have some in that area. I don't know much about that. But
Anyway.
they have this thing that they call Christmas. What do they call it? They have two things. There's Candy Lane, which I think is the park itself being open for like the Christmas holiday, where it's basically everything but the roller coasters because it's too cold to run the roller coasters. Usually, they could probably run them this year. And then the other thing they have is they call it Sweet Lights, and it's they have this huge Christmas light display that they set up that you actually drive through, and they have a radio station that's going that you can tune your car radio to a specific like Sweet Lights radio station, and listen to Christmas tunes through there as you very slowly just sort of idle your vehicle in line behind a massive amount of other vehicles through we have the same through thing. This path, and look at all the lights and everything, and a lot of the stuff is the same year to year, but I think every year they have like elementary school age kids submit designs, and they'll turn the best designs into lights that you get to see those at the end of the route, and they move things around a little bit so things aren't always necessarily in the same place, and it's a lot of fun. We usually make hot chocolate and put in thermoses and drink that while we're driving through. It's a very relaxing activity, and the kids
somewhat,
really
except for the traffic.
Well,
I've done the same thing, and sometimes those guys can drive. Like, do you have to sit in line forever to get in?
It's usually not too bad. We try to go during the week because one, the amount of people there is generally fewer, and the cost is lower. They don't charge as much. Like, we're planning on going tomorrow, and usually like on a weekday evening, it costs a lot less to go through than it would on like a Saturday or a Friday kind of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. Exceptional.
Well, I'm just curious, as like being a father of two pretty young kids, like, do you guys kind of do anything for them that, I mean, other than maybe going to this thing, but like, I don't know, is there stuff that you guys started doing
to
like
perpetuate certain ideals?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
Like, I'm just curious, do they believe in Santa?
They do, yeah.
Who doesn't believe in Santa?
Exactly.
Dude? Crazy, man.
I didn't say that I do or don't. I'm just asking a question.
Why not? Take a stance, man. Come on. Do you guys put out milk and cookies?
We do, yeah. We do the typical. We put out the milk and cookies, and
have you gotten healthy like the rest of America and put out like celery and?
No, that's the lamest thing I've ever.
Kale.
See, I think that's really funny that you say that, because I've thought that about. I've thought some of the pictures you and your wife have posted of your dinners. I'm like, who eats that healthy stuff? Like, that's like
people who don't value their lives.
I get the impression from like when I talk to you guys about food and stuff that you guys eat like super healthy. So I'm actually shocked that you don't do that.
We're not health nuts necessarily. I mean, when there's time and ability to prepare, a fresh, healthy meal, my wife will opt for that. But if it's we got to do something quick, we'll do something quick, and generally that means it's not as healthy, and whatever you make do, kind of thing. But I mean, Santa gets milk and cookies, and maybe some carrots, but they're for the reindeer. They're not for Santa to munch on. Yeah. I mean, the guy's supposed to be fat and jolly. You can't if he gets health food all over the place, he's going to slim down too much, and then the coat's going to be
he's
too
supposed
big,
to have
and
hypertension.
It's going to be ridiculous. So we do the milk and cookies thing, and as my son's getting a little older, he's 6 now, so he's actually able to read and write, and he can write a little note. So that's sort of a new thing that he can. I think he wrote a little bit last year, because he would ask for what the letters, and he could write most of the letters. So he'll put a little note down, and then usually there's a note waiting for him in the morning in response.
Santa's a nice guy. That's Santa.
But and we do we have the stockings. We actually have for the stockings we have a fireplace, and we have a chimney, and it's right next to the Christmas tree. We have never lit a fire in it. because we've never cleaned the thing since we bought the house. So we just put,
Yeah,
like,
it's not really a good time to start, probably.
Yeah, we have we actually set our nativity up inside the chimney and where the fireplace should be.
Hopefully Jesus does not catch on fire this holidays.
Exactly.
Or else that'll be some interesting explaining to the children.
We've tried the stockings in a couple of different places, and there's not really a good place above the fireplace to put it because it's all like a brick. There's no like wooden hearth or anything to nail nails into. So we ended up picking up this snowman themed like stocking hanger. Yeah, I mean, you're familiar with like a clothes tree, where it's like the tall rod in the middle, and then there's a couple of little rods sticking off of it, and you can hang your clothes on it.
Right.
This is the same sort of ideal, but it looks like a snowman, and it's for hanging your stockings on. And so we have that sitting up next to the fireplace. And the one Christmas thing that just popped into my head that's a tradition that we brought over from my wife's side of the family is when the tree is being decorated, right, and the ornaments are being put on the tree or everything, right, everybody can put whatever they want on it, at various times. It's there's not like a set pattern. You don't have to worry about, making sure that there's certain things are in certain places or whatever. But the one rule is that when the tree is done being decorated, the last ornaments that go on are these 2 red bird ornaments that we have. And it's the father of the house that puts those ornaments on, and that declares the tree decorated. So I look forward to that because I don't usually spend a whole lot of time putting other ornaments on the tree. Occasionally I'll pick up like one of the sort of novelty ones. Like we have a Star Trek original series communicator that chirps when you open it, and it's like,
awesome.
Like Spock to Enterprise, one to be, things like that. Yeah, so like some of those novelty things I'll put up on the tree, but the thing I most look forward to is being able to use my executive power to declare that the tree has been decorated for the year by putting those birds on it.
Yes, you've deserved that power after at least 6 years of parenting, I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, Snow, what kind of Christmas traditions do you have, or what are you doing this year, or whatever?
See, I'm kind of in Christmas limbo because I'm fresh out of, college and out of my parents' house and everything, so I still go back home. But I'm not at home as much for the holidays because I've got a real, actual lifetime job this time. And so I've got my own like decorations and everything, and it's the first year I've ever done it. So I've had to buy a lot of new stuff, and my girlfriend's bought a lot of new stuff too. And so she's really wanted a Christmas tree. We've got probably 8.5-foot ceilings, and so we can't get anything huge. But I was like, I'll surprise her. I'll get her a Christmas tree. So I found one. I didn't have to pay anything for it because it was a Christmas tree from an old office that my parents used to have. And I was like, this is going to be perfect. We'll get it, we'll put it up, and it's all going to be great. And so after Thanksgiving, we hadn't seen each other in like a week and a half, and I packed this Christmas tree up, and I was going to give it to her and everything, and I surprised her with it. She's so excited. I get it all set up. It's like 11 p.m. or something. I'm getting it all ready, and I plug the thing in, and the lights don't work. And I'm like,
oh,
are you serious? Come on, lights. Give me a break here. And so I finagle it a little bit, and I got like half of the lights to work. And so it looks really, really awkward. It's like this giant Charlie Brown Christmas tree where it's like there's a blank space, and then if you think of the lights in layers, it's like there's 6 layers and 2 of them light up.
Oh.
So it's like somewhere near the bottom and somewhere near the top there's some nice twinkling lights. And then the rest of them we just like had put garland and ornaments all over. So it was a very good first Christmas tree to be able to look back on in about 20 years and be like, man, remember when our life sucked?
There's a song that I like every holiday that's about it's the 12 pains of Christmas. And
I heard that one.
Yeah, and the second one is getting the tree lights to work or whatever. So,
yep.
Yeah.
These stupid lights.
Well, I know exactly.
That's pretty funny. Pretty funny song.
So that story actually reminded me something else we used to do, which we haven't done for several years since I was probably like 14 or 15. Is we used to actually go out and go to a Christmas tree farm and cut down our own Christmas tree.
Oh man, your family's like lumberjacks. It's like Christmas Vacation, if you guys have ever seen that movie.
No, I haven't.
Oh wow, that's another tradition we have. We always watch that movie on Thanksgiving night. We all recognize that it's a great Christmas movie. It's one of those where it's like mildly inappropriate whenever you're younger, but you still show it to young kids and they don't get it until they grow up, and then it's funny anyway. So I don't know. That's one of our traditions. Anyway, what you guys cut down trees?
Yeah,
with chainsaws, or how do you do this?
Just like we had a bandsaw. My brother and I would always want to be the one to help my dad like hold one side of the saw as we cut through the tree.
How big are these trees?
I mean, it has to fit in our house, so it's
right.
It was only like 6 or 7 feet tall.
Huh. Has it ever like fallen on you?
Not that I can think of. I'm not going to tell it now, but I was listening to a podcast once and they were talking about having a live Christmas tree, and they told this horrible story that like scarred my mind, and I'm glad we don't have live Christmas trees now.
Oh yeah, probably a fire type thing.
No, it was
a wild animal.
It was spider's nest.
Oh no, okay, all right, that's enough. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy spiders.
Enjoy your live trees.
Yes, they're great. So if you guys are listening to this podcast on Christmas morning and you have a real Christmas tree in your house, it's too late.
They're already in your home.
Yes, they have already infested your pillows, and yeah, have fun with that. Spend the next 6 hours cleaning your house with bleach. Yes. Yeah. I was trying to think of any other traditions we have. We don't have much. We kind of have a tradition to not have a tradition on Christmas Eve, because we used to, rotate around different sides of the family and always do dinner. But now it's like everybody's kind of started their own families, and we're kind of left stranded on the island, and we don't know what to do. So we do different things every Christmas Eve, and it's sometimes we go look at lights. Sometimes we paint stuff. I hate when we paint stuff, man. That one drives me crazy. I hate painting things. We paint like little ornaments, and I hung some of them on my tree this year, and I just realized how terrible I am at painting ornaments. I've made like little Christmas bells that look like smiley faces, and I'm just like, man, why did I paint that? I'm such an idiot back then. But it's always fun to look at. And then sometimes we just make a big spread of food and eat it all. But then we always wake up in the morning and open our presents. I can't stand those people that open their presents on Christmas Eve. You guys are crazy.
We used to do like an open one present on Christmas Eve.
We do too, but it's always pajamas, so it's kind of, and I'm not much of a, I wear light pajamas to sleep, we'll just say. So I always wake up Christmas morning, I'm just like drenched in sweat. I'm like, why did I wear the Christmas pajamas again? Worst tradition ever.
That, I wanted to say one or two more things, and then I have one last Christmas question for you guys, and then we can move on to other non-Christmassy topics. So yeah, I remembered doing Christmas pajamas a couple of years when I was much younger, but one thing we always have done every year since I can remember, and as far as I know, we're doing it this year again, is we always get a calendar for Christmas for the next year. And so
what kind of calendar?
As it's coming up on Christmas, I'll always like go to the the mall and look at like the calendar display and be like, oh, this one looks really good for this year. So this past year I got a Legend of Zelda one.
Oh, nice. Is it like daily or monthly or weekly?
It's a monthly calendar.
Okay, that's good.
But this year, the one that I could find that I really liked was actually a Minecraft one, but it wasn't actual in-game pics. It was like concept art and stuff, and it was really funny. And yes. And then my question is, you mentioned the one Christmas movie. My question is, what is your favorite Christmas movie or holiday movie?
Oh man, that's tough.
I guess, yeah, I don't really have a specific one that I make sure that I see every year, but I would say that National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation ranks up there pretty high. I mean that's just a classic, and that's one that my wife is a huge fan of that one, and so her enjoyment of it has kind of infected me as well. So I've enjoyed it more in recent years than I did.
It's one of those movies you laugh at every single time you watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
even though you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it stands the test of time. It's a lot of the classic holiday era problems. So
right, when the grandma stands up and starts saying the Pledge of Allegiance while she's supposed to be saying grace.
And they all just decide it's easier just to go along with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else gets around them and starts, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Oh man. That movie.
Yeah.
Since you kind of took that one, or you were going to take that one, you can choose another one if you want. But I would have to say, have you guys seen Just Friends?
I have not.
It's got Ryan Reynolds and somebody else. I can't remember who the girl is in that movie. I haven't seen it this year. I watch it most years. I haven't seen it yet this year, so I might watch it tomorrow. But it's a great movie. It's about these two people that are best friends, a guy and a girl. They're best friends, and the guy's always had a crush on the girl and everything. And they grow up, and then she's got all these guys she's dating and everything. And he grows up and he becomes a famous hockey player. And anyways, it's kind of like a love story, but it's Christmas themed. I love that movie. It's a great movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah, my favorite Christmas movie, which it's not something I would watch every year at Christmas. It's just every once in a while I'll get the random urge to watch it, and I watch it any time of the year. It's just whenever I feel like it. Is White Christmas.
The oldie?
Yeah. I love.
I can't do classics.
What?
I can't do classics.
See,
I mean, eventually Christmas Vacation will be a classic, but like the black and white movies.
I love that style. Danny Kaye is hilarious. Baker and I
couldn't even tell you who that is.
Baker and I had a great conversation about like all the old Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye movies, but it was because I had been watching White Christmas. Is the reason it came up. So, yeah, it's just great classic movie, and I know most of the people listening might not even know what that is, or might not have seen it or whatever, but
considering none of us, and I'm going to wager that nobody in the audience was alive when it came out.
That I would totally agree with that.
And if there is, please comment. I would love to know, because I would love to expand our demographic.
That'd be awesome. I don't even.
Yeah.
I think that was 40s.
Yep. That's older than my grandma.
I think it was in the 40s, because I think it starts out in World War II.
Yeah, so 45-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another one we didn't mention, I won't talk too much about it, but Elf. You guys, does anybody love Elf? Either of you two?
I've seen it.
It's all right, yeah.
I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan.
I didn't get too much great feedback from that one. I was expecting like, oh yeah, Elf is the best movie ever. Man, I love Elf. Great movie.
It does all right.
It's gonna be it.
Yeah, I mean
it'll probably be the one I watch with my kids.
Bob Newhart saves that one.
Yes,
I like his part in that the most out of everything that's in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Will Ferrell fan. Whenever he's in good movies, I think Elf's a great movie.
All right. Well, I just wanted to mention, I sent a couple messages back and forth with daughter, and this is the last Christmas-y thing that I have to add is she made our Dem Guys podcast image, and she actually made a version with a Santa hat for us. So it's
oh wow!
Probably
that's what you're looking at for the past 50 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, that's news to us, and it's been known to you for forever, dear listener.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's exciting. Thank you, daughter.
Yes, indeed.
And just so you guys know, they do celebrate Christmas in Iceland.
Very cool.
Christmas all over the world.
She makes fun of me because I asked her that one time because I want to make sure it wasn't always winter and never Christmas.
It's not Narnia.
Well, you know.
Iceland is controlled by a white witch.
Yeah, it could be. You never know.
I'll just mention, because I forgot I was going to mention it back when we were talking about video games. I did go and see The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. And I'm not going to really talk about it just because I don't want to give spoilers or anything, but I did enjoy it. I think I liked the first one better,
Really? I've heard most people say the opposite.
but I don't know if it was like, I don't know why it was. I definitely enjoyed it, but it wasn't like I didn't come out of the movie like, "Oh my gosh, that was so amazing." It was just like, "Yeah, that was a good movie."
Did you act like it was so amazing last time?
Yes.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I love The Last Hobbit, so I've still got to watch this one. I've got to watch it with my dad, and I haven't been home very much yet, so probably watch it soon. But do they sing the Misty Mountain song? I don't think they do, right?
No.
Is there another epic song they sing?
Well, not that the dwarves sing. In the credits, there's like a sort of new song that came out with this movie, and it's called "I See Fire" by Ed Sheeran. I think that's how you say his name. Um, and I've been listening to that song. That song's really good.
Interesting. Man, no, that Dwarves Misty Mountain song made that movie. I was like trying to see how low my voice could get for months after that.
The Play MindCrack beta.
Oh, I forgot to bring that up. Should I talk about it?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we can all talk about it. Have you guys joined Play Mindcrack?
I have
not.
not. I'm
Okay,
not
so-
in a position where I can, because right now it's only open. It's like a patron only beta, I guess, is the way you would
Yes, it's a
call it.
public
You have
beta.
to-
Is well, not public beta. It's patron only, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just bought it just because I can't stop buying things, and I haven't bought anything for anybody except for myself this Christmas. Again, family, if you're listening, Merry Christmas. Enjoy your presents. But it's been awesome. The only thing, so basically you get in, and I paid for I think 90 days, which is the maximum you can do, just because I know I'm gonna probably want to play it for a while. So I got in the first like 30 minutes or whatever, and you don't really know what's going on. I think it's gonna keep evolving pretty quickly, but you walk around and you've got this texture pack asks you want to download. You download it, and then you get one of like 3 different intro music bits, and mine was Zisto saying, "Welcome back to the Play Mindcracker," and it was just like, yeah, this is awesome, let's go. And I get in, and I've got my video up already, but the first person I saw a video standing right in front of me, like actually the dude playing the game, and Nebris was there, and I mean everybody was there. I played with Doc and Old Man Willikers and Good and MC Gamer and Pause and Etho and BTC and Pyro, and I'm probably forgetting some people, but anyway, it was, so you walk in and there's this big old hub area, and they have these little gold pads. That's probably my favorite part, is the little gold pads. You can walk, and whenever you run on them, if you hit shift, it launches you, and so you have to try to launch yourself correctly to get to different areas if you want.
Right.
Anyway, just a little kind of boring thing to do, and whenever you're waiting for games to start in the hub. But there's currently 4 different game modes, I believe. There's survival games, which is in the middle of the hub. I don't know if that's going to change or what exactly is going on with that. But survival games in the middle, just the plain old survival games that we've all probably played. And then there's also Barnyard Blitz, which I know nothing about, so don't ask me. There's Dwarves vs. Zombies, the famed game that actually got me into Mindcrack. And then... what's the other one?
I didn't know that. I'm a huge fan of Rob and the stuff that he does, so...
Yeah, honestly, I never watched it. Like, I searched it forever one time, and I kept watching tons of episodes of it for like a week, and then I haven't really watched it since, except for the past month, probably.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw Pause through there, and I already knew about Etho, but then I found their FTB stuff, and yeah, whatever. But yeah, and then there's King of the Golden Monocle, which I played a little bit. It's a very confusing game where you're a wizard and you're playing with all these different people, and it's you have unlimited deaths or whatever, and you have a little respawn cooldown, and you're given 3 different weapons, and you just don't know what the heck the weapons do, and the tooltips are so long that you're sitting there trying to read them while you're getting lit on fire by people who know what they're doing. But anyway, so most people have just been playing survival games, and that's what I've been doing with the rest of the Mindcrackers. So basically I just played a lot of survival games with all the Mindcrackers, and it was awesome. I recorded a lot of them, and The server will open to the public for free soon. I don't know how soon. I don't know if it's already opened at this point on Christmas Day. And maybe a Christmas present to you all, but it'll open soon, and there's going to be a ton of people. Because right now there's really nobody playing DBZ or King of the Golden Monocle or Barnyard Blitz. I think Barnyard Blitz is broken, possibly. I'm not sure. But everybody's just playing survival games. And then eventually, there's going to be 2 UHCs per day. There's going to be 2 servers, the European server and the US server. And on the US server, there'll be 2. And on the European server, there'll be 2. But they're going to happen simultaneously, I believe. So that you can't... The most you can play in one day is 2. And the winner of each UHC is going to have their own statue built in the hub of Play MindCrack, which is going to be awesome. It looks like apparently little baby zombies go out and spend like 20 minutes constructing your statue. And then, so you can see it being constructed, and then it just stands there for the rest of the day.
I can't even
Everybody knows that you're the
imagine,
victor.
like with all the stuff I've seen Rob do in Dwarves vs. Zombies and everything, I can't even imagine how they do that, but apparently...
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've just seen the statue. They haven't built anything yet, because UHC's not ready, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. And speaking of UHC...
Yeah, the MindCrack Season 13 of UHC is going on right now. And
yes!
yeah, I know
I've been waiting
Snow
so
has
long.
been waiting so long. Yeah.
Oh man, somebody, I think last week, somebody linked their UHC song that they normally play. Now they just do Pyro's intro. Pyro always does these techno-y songs for the intros, which are pretty cool. But they used to do that the Kevin MacLeod song.
Yeah.
That one was awesome. It got me into the mood for UHC. And then all of a sudden it happened. And it's been great so far. We won't spoil anything, but what do you guys think about, if you've been watching it, about Teams of 4?
I've always enjoyed the team ones, I think, generally more, depending on what happens, than the individual ones. Now, in terms of the size of the team, pairs, triples, and quartets, I guess, have all sort of provided the same amount of entertainment value. As someone who doesn't have a whole lot of time to watch, having teams of 4, if I wanted to watch every team, I only really have to watch 5 perspectives to get all the teams, as opposed to having to watch like 20 different videos to get all the different perspectives.
Yeah, and then fewer and fewer whenever they start to die.
As the ships begin to land where they may. So I like teams of 4. It's not necessarily as an every season thing, but I like whenever they pair up or whatever, whenever they team up for a season. And I usually try to watch whoever in the group has the lowest sub count, just to be like helpful in that regard. Because I feel that it's probably somebody that I don't watch regularly anyway, so I might as well try and give them some support during UHC, if nothing else. Because my kids enjoy watching UHC as well, or at least my son does, so whenever he's involved, I generally pull up Ethos' perspective on things, because I know that'll be safe for him to watch, as opposed to say, pulling up like Good's perspective or something like that. So that's usually the way I go whenever he's going to be watching. But otherwise, I'll pull up whoever's on the lower end sub wise.
See, I go hardcore. I do the view sync and watch all 4 at the same time.
Yeah, I've thought about trying that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The view sync is much better than the Swig view used to be. The only problem is this year people are making them in Swig view and then porting that to view sync, because view sync actually gives the people ad revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving them all ad revenue as opposed to just one, I guess, which is another
cool.
Another plus of that, because you actually watch all 4 ads at the same time. So it's kind of interesting. But I used to make the links a lot for the UHC Swig views, or not Swig views, for the view syncs, because not very many people know how to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, whenever people are taking it from Swig view and putting it in view sync, it screws a lot of stuff up, and you can't resync it if it gets out of sync. Anyway, it's a big mess, so I just end up making my own. I just haven't been posting them.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have to talk to you outside of the podcast on how to get those set up.
How to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty easy. I can show you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I have.
Drew, what do you think?
Well, I have different opinions of the way they do each season of UHC, depending on how I decide to look at it at the time. As a viewer, I have to, and as a player, because I enjoy playing UHC as well. I have to say that free-for-all can sometimes be the most intense or the most boring, depending on just what's going on. I agree.
See, I like the teams of 4. I just like the camaraderie more, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, I agree with Matt when the teams definitely make it easier to watch because it's less perspectives. And for someone like me who I'm not used to working all the time, and then I'm scheduled every single day, whatever, it's like I probably would be way behind on UHC except for the fact that they're doing teams.
Yeah, it's insane. If you think about it, I mean, how many, they normally have like 15 people, or is it's probably more than that, 20?
Yeah, usually it's about 20 people. So when it's free for all, that's a lot.
Holy cow, man! That's 400 minutes. That's over 6 hours of content.
The last time they did a free for all UHC, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick a few specific people that I enjoy watching UHC, and I'll watch them. And then anytime there's a death, I'll go and watch both. Well, like the perspectives that are involved. Snow, did you see the question?
I did see the question. We want to thank Mr. Awesome Guy 246, longtime follower of the server and its members, for the question, and we will go ahead and read it now. Actually, I'm going to read it if that's okay with you guys.
Yep, fire away.
It says, "Here's the podcast one question." Oh, that's what Drew wrote. Okay. It's going well, guys. Going well. First question. Going great. This question will come up at least once, but, do you think PC gaming is the way to go in the future? Is it good for kids? In a Canadian accent, or maybe that's pretty good. Is it good for kids?
It's good for kids. I think PC gaming is probably, looking at the current generation of consoles, like the PS4, Xbox One, that sort of thing, it doesn't seem to me like the consoles are evolving very fast anymore. So it feels like PC gaming is more where things are going to be at. Now, I don't do a whole lot of console gaming anyway. Most of my gaming is on PC, so I'm probably biased in that direction. But I feel like PC gaming is the better place to be. But as far as for kids, I don't know whether PC or console is really the question there, because it's all about the content. It's like what you can find games that are appropriate in terms of content, in terms of difficulty level, for either platform or any platform. It's just a matter of figuring out which ones are the ones that are for you.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in most of those areas. The one thing I want to say with is it good for kids? See, I've got a very different opinion than most of you guys probably. I really have not gotten into gaming at all until I started up my channel, and probably wouldn't be this heavy in it at all if I didn't start up my channel. So I'm not really that well versed in, just sitting down in front of a TV or a computer and playing games for hours until I started my channel. But I don't really know that I want my kid sitting in front of a TV for forever. And for me, I feel like if I would have gotten into PC gaming, that would have happened a lot easier, because sometimes I don't know about you guys, but I can get into PC gaming and just sit there. Like if I'm playing Minecraft, I can keep switching servers or going to the VBFS or whatever. I can get addicted to that much faster than I can if I'm just playing Xbox. I'm much less willing to actually get up, switch the disc, and go play a different game. I'm mostly just like, I'm done playing this game for now.
Although,
as a father, I can say that my experience with the consoles that I have a Wii and I have a PS3. And my experience with those consoles is that they're not as easy to manage from a parental standpoint. On the computer, like I think from Windows Vista on up, at least, there's a bunch of parental controls that are built into the OS. So if you're a Windows user, you can go in, you can say this person can only be logged into their account for 2 hours or whatever. They can only play 2 hours of games a day,
I know that.
and they can only play during a certain window of time. So you can set it up so that
Xbox
they can't
360
be
does
late.
actually have those features as well.
Well,
Not
which makes
maybe
sense
not
to
to the
me.
extent that Windows does, but
Yeah, same manufacturer, Microsoft. So it doesn't surprise me that they would do a good job. But the PS3 in particular, I find absolutely horrible. They have some parental controls on there, like you can set that you need to put a pin in to watch, DVDs or Blu-rays over a certain rating, or that play a game over a certain maturity rating. But it's not tied to a login on the PS3, so. Your login, whenever you pick a name on the PS3, you're just picking, where your save file is organized, and pretty much everything else is system wide. So I would have loved if they had set it up that I could have an account for my son that I have certain levels set to, and my account that I put a password or a PIN or something in when I try to log into it, so that he can't get into it, that doesn't have those restrictions. And the fact that it doesn't have that, and the Wii is even worse because there's no separate logins or anything for that.
Luckily, the Wii is much more kid-friendly in most respects.
Yeah, generally the stuff that comes out for the Wii, there's not as much concerned about.
I've played a first-person shooter on the Wii. I will never do that again. That was the worst experience of my life. Call of Duty 4 on the Wii was terrible.
Yeah,
it sounds terrible.
Oh man, you had to point the Wiimote at the TV to try to shoot people.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about to throw my freaking Wiimote through my TV. I'm just like, all right, screw this. I'm throwing this game away. But as for the other question, the first one, do you guys think it's the way to go in the future? You kind of touched on that, Matt.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I think so. I think PCs are they're generally more flexible. I mean, the thing that the console gives consumers is that the people that are releasing the games for the console know exactly what the specs are, hardware-wise. So they know how to optimize it and code it and stuff so that it runs well on the console, and they don't have to worry about, is the person going to have, when you buy a game for the PS3, you don't have to worry about, is my PS3 fast enough to run this game? Whereas with PC gaming, you do have to worry about that. But, I mean, for my side of things, I like PC gaming more. There are many games that I do much better with keyboard and mouse than I ever would with a controller. So, I mean, that alone is, keeps me on PC.
Yeah, I'll just end the discussion forever by saying when the Steam box comes out and takes over the world, it's going to be great.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to have the hardware already set for you. Everything's going to be streamlined and optimized to play whatever the heck game you want to play, and it's going to be awesome.
I wanted to say, as a primarily console gamer until much more recently, I definitely I love playing on consoles, and there are definitely things that are easier to do on a console than it is to do on a PC, because, as Matt was saying, it's optimized for that console sort of. Mm-hmm. And one of the things you were saying, Snow, was that you have to get up and change the disc each time. Well, the consoles are evolving that a lot of them, if you have a disc, it is purely sort of for show, and for the most part, you're going to be installing the game onto your hard drive or downloading it if that's your preference. And
that is true, especially for kids of the future. That's definitely going to be what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, which is funny to me, because I mean that's the way PC gaming has been forever.
Right?
I mean, you would install it on your hard drive, and then you put the disc in to authenticate that yes, in fact, I do own this game. I'm not running a copy copy off of somebody else's computer, because you can validate against my disc that I physically own. And it's funny to me watching the consoles go in that same way, where it's, they've got this long install time, and then you still have to put the disc in and anyway to authenticate the game. But yeah, it seems that's one of the reasons why I tend to side on the side of PC, is because it seems like the consoles are adopting rather PC gaming, philosophies, I guess would be the word. which suggests that PC is ahead
I agree.
of the game if console is emulating aspects of it.
And then my argument, that was sort of what I had to say about consoles. Now, what I have to say about PC is a big thing for me of why I liked consoles for so long is I did like a big part of it is just playing with a controller. And now that I have a decent computer that can run video games and stuff, there are certain games that I like mouse and keyboard for, and there are certain games that I like a controller for. And I bought a wired Xbox controller, and I can just plug it right into my computer, and then like I'm willing to play shooters and stuff on there.
Yeah, because I do not want to play a shooter with my mouse and keyboard.
Well,
I know everybody loves it more, but I don't know, it doesn't feel right to me. I don't like having that much control over
it
my
actually
gun.
depends on the game for me.
So far prefers just shooting randomly.
Yeah, I love shooting from the hip, just left trigger, right trigger, boom!
Star Wars Republic Commando is a game that I did on my channel. And that's actually, when I recorded it, I did it mouse and keyboard. And I played it originally on the Xbox. And
that's the game where you can fight against like Darth Vader and stuff, right?
No, Darth Vader is...
Am I thinking of something else?
Is the Empire. Star Wars Republic Commando was before the Empire.
Okay. I may have not played that game then.
It's during the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Anyway, but that is something, same with Star Wars Battlefront, that is something that I originally played on the first Xbox, and I had a great time with it, but I played it on the PC, and I found the mouse and keyboard to be easier. Whereas something like Call of Duty, I prefer a controller. And it really just depends on the game. Some things I like mouse and keyboard for, some things I like controller for. But the fact that you can do that on a PC kind of makes PC up there.
It's a lot harder to play a keyboard and mouse interface on a console game than it is to play with a controller on a PC.
The huge thing for that PC has in its favor is that as long as you have a good computer, you are going to be able to run games on it for a while and keep getting the new games that are coming out. Whereas I have a 360, well, the Xbox One just came out. I'm not paying for a whole new game console. And so there are going to be...
Luckily, you just got one today for Christmas. Congrats.
There are going to be tons of games that are coming out for the Xbox One that won't be available on the 360 that I just won't have access to. But potentially if they also come out on the PC, then I could play them in there. One of the games I've been looking forward to is Rainbow Six Patriots. A huge Rainbow Six fan. And I don't think that's going to be on the 360. I think if it does finally come out, it's going to be on the One. But I should be able to get it on my PC, and then I'll just plug in my controller, and there we go.
All right. Well, we want to thank Mr. Awesome Guy 246 for that question, and we want to thank you guys for listening.
If you want to submit your own question, you can send an email to demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Wow, impressive!
You got to spell it out for the people.
Yeah, that was a good run of letters.
SnoShoe the cheerleader.
I'd like to do that sometime.
And
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
What's that line go?
Merry
Christmas to all, and to all
a good night.
A good night.
Okay, yeah, and once again, have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your presents and your eggnog if you do that, and yeah.
Don't drink too much of it, kids.
There's not alcoholic eggnog.
That's what I'm saying. Don't let the kids have it, parents. Kids, don't drink it.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, we'll
catch you guys in the next episode.
Yeah. Next time. Yeah.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.